Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Reactor, and this is Quinn, and today's article comes from TheGuardian.com and says, Post-Outrage TV, How Southpark is Surviving the Era of Controversy. Creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone have fine-tuned their satire, and the show is questioning its own place in society more than ever. No, I really doubt that. Questioning its own place in society? Like, no, I guarantee that no satirist ever said, satire might be bad. Like, no. Teaching people how to think differently is never going to be bad. You know, making people think outside the box, that's really what satire is, showing a different scenario of a similar situation.
Right.
I feel like that's what it is, you know. You get rid of that, then you get rid of free thinking. South Park's 22nd season opens its first episode. When is this from? This is new? What? First episode was a while ago. Dead kids with the sound of gunshots ringing throughout the show's primary setting of an elementary school. The teachers and students carry on as if it's completely normal because in America, it is. It's only Stan's mom, Sharon, who is deeply horrified by it all, slowly losing her mind as everyone else in the town seems to hold the reoccurring massacres in the same regard as a failed math test. What's up, Stan? What's up, Stan's mom's ass? Asks a bemused Cartman. And it's really not normal, you know.
Whoever said
there are rare things that happen that get a spotlight, you know.
Right.
And it really is rare. Like, you know, you can say it happens all the time, but it really doesn't. Look, you actually look at statistics, you know.
Right.
It's not happening all the time. It's happening. And the other thing, I think these shootings are happening because people are putting the shooters on a pedestal, you know.
Right.
And it's almost like a game. You get a high score. How many people can you hurt? You know. Like, just stop.
At this point in time, school shooters aren't the ass end of all our jokes. They're looked at as, they're revered as like dangerous criminals that had really badass guns and went in and did this badass shit. And it shouldn't be like that.
We should make jokes of them. We should make fun of the school shooters.
Right. They should be the most made fun of, really.
Because they all look like idiots. All of them. It's weird. They all look like weirdos.
Yeah, but at the heart of that weirdo is a misunderstood person that needs a lot of help.
Mm-hmm. And we should maybe focus on giving people help or seeing red flags.
Right.
Focus on finding red flags. Because apparently, like, a lot of the shooters threw up some red flags and no one cared.
Doodles in your notebook of, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah. But then again, there's the things where kids are wrongly accused of saying stuff, you know, like, how easy is it for a kid to accuse another kid of saying something, you know?
And how easy is it going to be in the future to set up a kid?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can frame a kid you don't like.
Right.
Hey teacher, guess what he just said? You
Look
know
what he was drawing. It's you,
well,
and he's got to.
Yeah. This of course creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone's satirical takedown of gun violence in the U.S., highlighting the absurd truth about school shootings, have now become commonplace. But even for the famously controversial South Park, this seems like a particularly daring subject to make light of. How has this show not been canceled? Is the sort of question someone who's never seen South Park might ask. In fairness, it's genuinely quite surprising that it's managing to survive in 2018, a time where making a joke about something horrible is now deemed nearly as bad as the horrible thing itself. Yeah, I feel like at the beginning of the season, well, I guess talking about school shootings is pretty controversial, but they have dumbed down a little bit and become less funny, although there are some, like, as long as they aren't trying to be PC, you can tell when they're trying to be PC and when they're acting scared about a subject.
Okay.
And that's just annoying. You know, it's not, you can't be funny that way if you're afraid of subjects, you know?
Right.
Anyway, South Park Season 22 has therefore had to change in order to ensure its survival in the outrage era. As the world, the world of Twitter at least, gets angrier and more reactionary, Parker and Stone have had to fine-tune their satire, making the takeaways of each episode more balanced than ever before. This is best exemplified in the episode The Problem with Pooh, with a Pooh. Oh, The Problem with a Pooh. Oh, they were talking about a Pooh. That I didn't even catch that they were calling it a Pooh.
I get that.
I think it was Mr. Hankey, right?
Right.
In which the show addresses the controversy of the Simpsons character Apu, and more broadly the concept of cancel culture, which the season has brilliantly mocked by introducing its own Cancel South Park campaign. Really? I don't remember that. The episode sees the return of Christmas Pooh Mr. Hankey, who is once again trying to spread a little festive cheer. However, it soon transpires that the Noel turd is incompatible with the modern world, causing outrage after he shares a series of offensive tweets. which he later blames on the sleeping drug Ambien, a clear parody of Roseanne Barr's infamous firing from her own sitcom. Meanwhile, the characters PC Principal and Vice Principal Strong Woman find themselves in a dilemma as they try to cover up Strong Woman's pregnancy. The idea that a woman could become pregnant from sexual intercourse is a major problem for the pair of them, who don't want anyone to assume anything about their gender roles. Eventually, she gives birth to 5 PC babies who cry at anything they deem offensive. Watching that episode with the PC babies, it actually seemed like they were crying every time a minority came in their view.
Oh, is that right?
So I don't know. I kind of felt like that's what they were trying to make fun of. Being PC is no different than being racist. It really isn't, you know? Like they see a picture of an Indian guy, you know, smiling or something, and they start crying. Like, how dare you have a shirt with an Indian guy? Like, what? You're racist if you have a problem with that shirt. You know, I feel like that's what they were going after. But
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted it.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, while the episode may be attacking the PC crybabies of the world, it also makes it. Oh yeah, see, I feel like that's what it is. It also makes it abundantly clear that Mr. Hankey is a relic. Kyle is the only one willing to defend the Pooh's offensive behavior, and he rightfully ends up getting smeared in the process, both figuratively and literally. It's the refusal to lean on either side of the argument that prevents the show from causing any real offense. Parker and Stone have always been agnostic in their satire, knowing what to mock, but not necessarily what they should be advocating. But for this season in particular, they've made that uncertainty the entire point. More than ever before, South Park is questioning its own place in society, abandoning its usual approach of offend everyone to offend no one, to instead become more existential. It's not so much mocking contrasting schools of thought, but asking its audience to understand why it is so exhausting to live in such a climate. And if it can be said about a program that still features fart humor as a prominent comedy tool, that demonstrates just how much the show has matured. No, I think they're misinterpreting the show. I do think there was a point where you could see that they were like kind of afraid to make jokes.
Right.
But but after like the newer episodes came out, it's like, okay, I don't think they are. I think they're just trying to subtly ease people into, you know, like all these people are crybabies. We need to ease them back into offensive satire, you know,
Right.
so that they are cool with it again. You know, you got to train people. I don't know. This newfound level of maturity is perhaps responsible for the creators issuing a rare apology to Al Gore over the existence of Man Bear Pig, a naturally part man, part bear, and part pig monster that is actually a satirical substitute for global warming. And I don't know why they said it like that, because everyone knows Man Bear Pig is actually half man, half bear, half pig, not part man, part bear. Like, what are they? The latest episode, Nobody Got Cereal, sees the disproportionate creature tear the town apart while its citizens frecklessly ask if it's time to worry yet. Most of them don't want to admit that Man Bear Pig, climate change, is the reason for the destruction, electing to ignore the issue altogether. With this, the show once again demonstrates an emphasis on balanced satire by mocking something as ridiculous as climate change deniers. The show is then free to take a swipe at more liberal sensibilities, safe in the knowledge that as long as the characters and creators continue to ridicule their own behavior, South Park will always be relevant. Yes.
I haven't seen that show